And with that, I really want to introduce, are we going? Mm-hmm. Peter McDonald is the architect of our project who just arrived from Minneapolis today. Thank you for coming. He has been in the same boat as all of us. Peter's been designing homes for a long, long time, but this is his first full-fledged LEED certified project. And so with that, I'm going to introduce to you Peter McDonald from McDonald and Company, Minneapolis.
And I'm really excited to be a part of this. I think you can kind of sense from Margie's energy that there's been an amazing energy in this project. You know, I've been doing homes since I was 16. You know, paid my way through architecture school by designing and drawing homes, and been basically doing homes nothing but since then. And I've never been involved in a project where I felt like I was in church so often. And
is that a good thing?
Well, I prefer this church.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing thing, the energy that all the people bring to it. It's not like you've got them up, okay, I'm going to beat you up, and we're going to find some relationship that we can go forward, and we're going to build this house all on a very commercial sort of way of approaching it. It's almost like there's so much enthusiasm that it almost feels like we're in church, and I think it is because there's something bigger happening in our movement, in the green movement, bigger than just self-interest. It's really a communal event. It's the event where our society, our human being society, has decided, listen, what's going on here? Maybe we need to change a few things about the way we build and the way we act and the way we consume and the way we live. And I think everyone who has walked in the door on this project has that resonance in there. It's just there. I mean, maybe you haven't thought about it for a long time, but as soon as someone says that, it's just vivid for you. And so there's a lot of excitement and a lot of labors of love going on, people working beyond probably what they would typically put into a project because there's so much enthusiasm about it. And I'm excited to be a part of it. When we're taught to design in architecture school, we have a lot of different things that go into the soup, a big pot that produces a design, context, budget, materials, all sorts of things. But the thing that's really the biggest thing, I think the broadest thing, is the context of our work. This is a little rip-off of a famous architect that I've kind of reworked to make it my own. I'm going to make an attribution later, but I can't remember his name at the moment. When we design a plate, we should consider the table. When we design a table, we should consider the room. When we design a room, we should consider the house. And when we design a house, we should consider the planet that it's sitting on. This is just obvious to all of us, I think, everywhere until we get to the last phrase. Because I think it's becoming obvious to us, but it hasn't been obvious to us. And the reason we need to, why have we lost the obviousness of such an obvious thing? We built on the earth. Has anybody noticed that lately? It's so close to us that we don't see it. And I think there's sometimes a danger in life that when things are so close that they become invisible, and then we're missing something that's very, very primary. Our Earth is 4.6 billion years old, according to scientists. That's a hell of a long time. Single-cell organisms.
Today.
Is this too big of a context? I'll come back in. Single-cell organisms were the only thing on this planet for 3.8 billion of the 4.6 that it's been here, okay? This was a big block. There was nothing here, and just all of this happened through a lot of bombardment of the planet with resources from elsewhere. Some might say the hand of a god, and I'm not ruling that out, but just the science that we have in front of us says that if God made this place, he did it in this particular way over this particular time. Now, you and I, our ancestors, have been around for, of that 4.6 billion years, 180,000. Can you do the math on that? Do you understand how recent that was?
A blink.
It was a blink of an eye.
6,000 years only. 6,000.
Well, interestingly enough, its recorded history is 5,000 years old. So we have records of ourselves for 5,000 years in the written form. The first modern machine that I've been able to trace down was a steam engine that was built in 1830. Okay, that's 100, if my math is right, 178 years ago. Okay, 178 years ago, 4.6 billion years ago, 180,000 years ago, 5,000 years of recorded history. Oh my God. You understand this context? We moved everything around this planet for that huge length of time that we've been around, 180,000 years, by lifting things up, by putting them on oxen, maybe much later, we put them in rafts and put sails on them and blew them around. Everything that we've done up to this point, up to 180 years ago, was lifted by man or animals. We haven't been up to a lot of stuff. But in the last 178 years, we have invented not only the steam engine, but the combustion engine, the automobile, the airplane, electricity, light bulbs. And we have created a drain on this planet like nobody ever expected in 178 years. I mean, that's a rough number. And all of a sudden, we woken up and we said, what happened? Where do we get these resources? Where do they come from? When before the modern era, we were so embedded in our work on the planet of tilling the fields and going up and down rivers that we knew what a resource was like. Well, the river flows by here. I can get some energy off of that. I can do this and that. But our energy resources have become distant to us. They're not. Who cut down the trees that built the last house that they did? There's probably somebody in here. But they come on a truck, don't they? You know? Where did they come from? And what Heidegger is a favorite philosopher of mine, and he said that when the modern era came, instead of looking directly at the resources that we had in relationship with them every day, hunting and fishing and gathering and cutting and building, instead resources became, what did he call them? Standing reserves. They're like gas stations. Like logs are over here, blocks are over here, asphalt is over here, and who the hell knows where it comes from? So who's keeping track of the resources of the planet? None of us. But we've been making a hell of a lot of noise since 1830. And like children, we've been excited about our power and our exuberance. But now we've decided, who's keeping track of all these resources? Has anybody noticed that we're running out of this stuff? That this stuff is affecting that stuff, and that stuff? We're discovering it, and we're children, you know? 4.6 million years, or billion years, 180,000 years, 178 years. Don't kick yourself in the ass if you haven't figured this out. You know, it's new information to all of us. We have some people here that figured it out 30 years ago, but most of us are children, and when Margie stands up and says, we've discovered each other, we've discovered that we want to make this house that's sustainable and respects the planet, and we discover each other, and we start saying, how do you do that? And, and we're the experts, and well, let's make it up, or let's find some experts. That's what we're doing as a community of designers, a community of builders, the whole community of our species. And it's an exciting thing. It's a great thing to be a part of, because we have this little island, and no one's going to refuel it, and no one's going to do anything to help us. We have to become the designers of our resources, the designers of how we use our resources, and that's exciting. If you have something that you want to do with your life, in 2008, maybe you should get involved in this. It's really an amazing thing to be a part of, because it is a big turn as us, as a society, to be able to make these intelligent decisions.